Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza. For Spike Cohen, I am Matt Wright, and together we are... Nope, that's not what this is. Spike, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? This is fantastic, folks. Thanks again for tuning in to this Redpath-aganza, the Bill Redpath Revenue for Redpath spectacular for the Bill Redpath for Senate campaign. Be sure to share this, comment, subscribe to everything that you're seeing this on, but also be sure to let everyone know it's time to raise revenue for the Bill Redpath for U.S. Senate campaign. Thank you so much. Matt?
So we are here to raise all of the money that we can for Bill Redpath, and for anybody who doesn't know, he's a fantastic gentleman. He's running for Senate in Illinois, and we are still hearing music in our ears.
Yes.
But it's going to be a fantastic event. We've got a fantastic event. We have a ton of great guests that are going to be here tonight.
Yes.
I'm excited to be a part of this. I am very appreciative to the Redpath campaign for having me and Spike here. And honestly, I'm excited for whatever this night is going to bring.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very excited about this. I first met Bill year before, when I was running for vice president. I met him and Julie and everyone else there with the Fox Valley LP. And since then, I've been very impressed to see everything Bill has done during the campaign. He has brought together a team of people from across the country who are working on his campaign. He has been at the forefront, both on social media and in person at events, to spread the liberty message through his campaign. And he has done a fantastic job. And I can't wait for everyone to meet him in roughly 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to Bill on my episode of the Writer's Block last week, and we had a great conversation, and I look forward to all of the people that we have coming on tonight. And it's going to be a fantastic night with a lot of great people from the Liberty Movement, all talking about why we should be giving money to Bill Redpath.
Absolutely. We have everyone from Cajun to from Amanda to Sanj. I'm trying to figure out the A to Z. No, we have incredible guests. We have, like 20 guests. We have a fantastic number of guests from across the country. And I can't wait to get started with this. But let's go ahead and start by introducing the man of the hour himself. He is the Libertarian candidate for U.S. Senate representing Illinois. He is running to replace Tammy Duckworth with someone who actually respects your rights and your freedoms. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and Illinoisans of all stripe, please welcome to his own fundraiser, Bill Redpath. Bill, thanks so much for coming on, man.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Spike and Matt. Thanks for putting this on. Thanks to Brian Lambrick for being the driving force behind this, as far as I can tell. And so it's good to be here. Good to be with everybody who's going to materialize on the screen this evening.
In the ether, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, be sure to donate to the Redpath campaign. We will be updating everyone on that throughout the show. Bill, what is the link again to the site for people to donate?
Well, BillRedpath.com is the website.
Yes.
Right, the website, BillRedpath.com. If that doesn't work, go to RedpathForUSSenate.com.
Here we go. I'm pulling it up right now. BillRedpath.com/donate.
There you go. Okay. And also redpathforussenate.com. One or the other will work.
Yep. They both go to the same
Excellent.
site. And then you just add /donate.
/donate.
Fantastic.
Donate.
Absolutely. So we have a fantastic group of people coming up. The thing about these guests are this is people from the entirety of the liberty movement, from the beginning of the Libertarian Party all the way to some of the newer people in the movement. We have and everything in between. And all of these folks are coming together to help Bill Redpath in his run. What does that mean to you, Bill, that you have so many libertarians coming together to help you?
Well, it's great. I mean, they all have a different part of my past, and I'll explain that as we go along. But I've known these people for a hell of a long time. Some of them a hell of a long time. Some of them, maybe a year or two, or since I moved to Illinois, it's been 2.5 years. But they all have,
Fantastic. That is awesome. Again, BillRedpath.com or RedpathForUSSenate.com/donate. You can go there to do that. And Bill, what are some of the things that are needed for the campaign to be able to, when these donations are being made, what are some of the things that it's going to go towards in the campaign?
Well, initially it's going to go for petitioning. I mean, unfortunately, Illinois has some terrible ballot access laws, and we have to get 25,000 valid signatures on a petition in order to get on the ballot. And that's within a 3-month window. Now, fortunately, it doesn't just get me on the ballot, it gets a full slate. There are 6 other candidates who will get on the ballot with me on that 25,000 valid signature petition drive. But that's what it's going to be going for in the short term. I was just out there petitioning on a cold day where I couldn't go out all day because it was precipitating, but it finally stopped about mid-afternoon, put in a couple of hours petitioning in front of the Elgin post office and did 41 signatures in 2 hours. So I'm out there doing it myself, but right now we got to get on the ballot, and we will get on the ballot, but that's where the money is going to go, at least now. After that, it'll go for, various forms of marketing, going to fairs, state fair, county fairs, advertising, hope to do some advertising, radio advertising, maybe some cable television advertising. But right now we've got to get on the ballot. But it's selling the party. I mean, it's explaining to people what the Libertarian Party is about while you're doing this. And a lot of people immediately reach for the clipboard. Hell yes. Yeah, I'll sign for the Libertarian Party. And I really think that a lot of the signatures, it's a mixture, but a lot of the people, it's a pro-Libertarian Party statement. They want to see libertarians on the ballot. And some of the people, it's just, well, you have a right to run, I'll sign, but I won't vote for you. And other people just hate the two-party system. But there are a surprising number of people who stop and turn around when you say libertarian and say, give me that clipboard.
Absolutely. And that's what we need to do to get Bill and the rest of the Libertarian slate on the ballot. Now, here is our first guest for the night. She was one of the leading presidential candidates for the Libertarian Party in 2008. She holds a bachelor's of science with a major in biochemistry, doctorate in biophysics from Michigan State. She is the author of the book Healing Our World from 1993. She continues to be a leading libertarian activist and one of my favorite people in the Libertarian Party to this day. Please welcome to the Redpath, Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza, Dr. Mary Ruiz. Mary, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here because I want to support Bill, especially since you're running in a state, Bill, that you have to get ballot access. I mean, you're the right candidate for that because you don't just tell people how to get on the ballot. You actually do it. And that's what really impresses me, and I think my biggest donations have been to Ballot Access. So I'm very pleased to support you and encourage people to do so because it's, you're not just running for yourself, you're running for ballot access. And that's what you do.
Well, thanks, Mary. I really appreciate it. And I want to say thanks to you for the many things you've done for the party over the years, but particularly for me in 2020, when I was a U.S. House candidate here in Illinois. I generally like to write my answers to questionnaires myself. and almost always do that. But some of these questionnaires that come in are pretty tough sometimes. And I got a science questionnaire from, I don't know, I forget the organization. It had to do, it was a consortium of Illinois universities, Northwestern, Chicago, I think the University of Illinois. But anyway, so there were some science questions on there that they sent me as a candidate that I needed to respond to. And I looked at it and I was like, I think I shrieked when I looked at the questions. And I knew who to go to help out with in this area, and it was Mary Ruiz, and she did a great job in ghostwriting the vast majority of my answers to that questionnaire. So I just wanted to say thanks, Mary, for saving me from embarrassment in the fall of 2020.
Well, I was delighted to do it, Bill, because that is very hard, even for some scientists, because you get questions that might not be your expertise. And that's one of the wonderful things about healing our world. I had to, learn about environmental things and things that I wasn't as knowledgeable about. And that's really helped. It helped me fill out your questionnaire too.
Okay. Well, thanks for researching that and doing that and putting a professional touch on that, because it's something on that questionnaire I could not have supplied.
Well, I was glad to do it. And I'm really, really glad you're running. And I hate to make it hard for you, but in a way, I'm very glad you're running in a state that needs ballot access, because I know you'll be able to help them get it. And that's very important.
Yeah, well, it's good to be here. We're going to succeed with this petitioning effort. This is day 6 of 89 or 90. The final turn-in is July 11, 12 weeks from today. And things are going to be warming up. Today it was pretty brutal out there, but it's going to be warming up. I think we're going to see the 70s this coming weekend. So spring is about here, but not quite yet.
I have full faith that you will be able to not only get a lot of signatures, but show people how to do it. So that's really important.
Right. Well, exactly. So.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. Before we let you go, do you have any final words you want to tell the audience?
Yes, I'd just like to say we cannot get the word out easily about the Libertarian Party and the Libertarian ideals if we don't run candidates. So this is extremely important, the race that Bill's doing. And it's important because he's a great candidate, but it's also important because he's going to help put Illinois on the ballot, and that's why I'm supporting him. And I generally when I give money to the Libertarian Party these days, I'm mostly giving it for that very reason, for ballot access. It's so important.
Thank you, Mary.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Thanks.
Now, coming up next, Richard Wenger is the editor of Ballot Access News, which is the source for ballot access information in every state around the country for all third and independent parties. He is in the Hall of Liberty, which is the National LP Hall of Fame. Please, everybody, welcome with me, Mr. Richard Wenger.
Oh, shoot, I'm upside down.
Right.
If I turn the camera upside down, that should fix it.
That should do. There we go. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, but will it stay there?
Well,
I guess we'll.
that was exciting.
That was great.
I'll just have to hold it.
Okay.
Kind of reminded me of Grandpa Munster on the Grandpa and the Munsters from years ago.
Didn't he hang upside down?
That's right. Yes.
Yes. We're almost there.
Well, you know what? I'm going to start talking while I fiddle with this.
Yes.
All right.
You know, practice makes perfect. Running as a libertarian for important policy-making positions like U.S. Senate, Governor, U.S. House is rough. You have to be persuasive, and Bill has been doing this long enough so that he's learned a lot. And furthermore, his business background gives him a gives
Almost.
him a very strong background in economics and business.
There we go.
All right.
So we depend on people like Bill who are sophisticated. They've been paying attention to policy and government for quite a long time. They've had practice being candidates, and it's tough to get ballot status in Illinois. We have to pull 5% for one of our statewide races. It's rare for parties to do that in Illinois, but when it happens, it's because the press realizes that one of the third party candidates is a really high quality person who really could do an excellent job in the office. And this year, there's so much attention to the U.S. Senate races. In most important states this year do not have a Senate race. The only populous states that do are Texas and Illinois. So, Bill, the eyes of the press are going to be on you.
Okay.
And I'm so proud that we have somebody who's sophisticated and knowledgeable, and I know you'll do an excellent job.
Oh,
Thank
Richard,
you.
Thank you for that. I mean, that is inspiring to me, and you're inspiring. I mean, I've told you, you're one of the most important people in the history of my life. And my work in Ballot Access really has been inspired by you, and my longevity in the Libertarian Party is inspired by you as well. You've been at this a long time in terms of Ballot Access, and you just keep going, and I'm going to keep going. It's discouraging at times, but it's something that needs to happen. And you are a national treasure to the United States, in my opinion. And what you do is invaluable. And can't thank you enough for your friendship and what you've done. Gosh, I've known you now for at least 32 years. I remember I met you at a NatCom meeting in San Francisco in 1990. And that was the first time we met. And so many years later now, but we'll just keep on going.
If I can just say one more thing, this may be accurate. Your prior races, good as they were, you were working full time. Now, am I correct that this year you're going to be a full-time candidate?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I would
All
say
right.
yes. I've got a little stuff going on still, but yeah, I was out petitioning today. I'm going to be working as a full-time candidate.
Well, that's important. Tell people that.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Richard.
thank you, Richard,
Appreciate
for
it.
being a part of that. And folks, this is the kind of high drama that you get when you watch the Revenue for Redpath fundraiser. We didn't know if we were going to see Richard Wenger for the first couple minutes there, and it finally the cliffhanger was over. But again, redpathforussenate.com or billredpath.com, they both could go to the same site. And if you click the donate button, or if you just add /donate to either one of those domain names, you will go straight to donate. We need your help. The Redpath campaign needs your help for ballot access, for advertising, for all the things that come with campaigning for a big spot like this. But thank you again so much to everyone that's been a part of this. Our next guest is a former state representative from the great state of Nebraska. She switched to Libertarian when she was in the state house there in Nebraska, and she currently sits on as one of the representatives on the Libertarian National Committee. Please welcome to the Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza, Ms. Laura Ebke. Laura, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. How you doing tonight?
We're good.
Fantastic.
Doing well, thanks.
Good.
You know, Bill might be old enough to remember this, but it feels a lot like the old Jerry Lewis telethons. I'm looking for Ed McMahon and Jerry Lewis, and you know, the leader, the big board that tells us, you know, how well we're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid. Yes, I remember that, and that was, you know, there was one thing every summer that I absolutely hated, and that was the first commercial for the Jerry Lewis telethon that would run, because it was always Labor Day weekend.
Right.
You'd go back to school the day after Labor Day, and when you saw that commercial a few weeks before the telethon, the summer's running out. I got to go back to school soon.
That's
And
right.
anyway, yeah, I remember plenty of stuff like that. Yeah.
So, hey, this is really exciting. And for anybody that's out there that's wondering whether or not they should give to Bill, they should. That money makes a campaign go round, and you know, certainly ballot access for the ballot access king is very important. So let's get this done, folks.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
for those who don't know, Bill is probably, and Laura, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm having a hard time thinking of any single other person offhand who is more responsible for getting libertarian candidates, not just in Illinois, but across the country on the ballot than Bill Redpath. Am I missing a name, or he's pretty much it, right?
I think that's it. I mean, there is nobody. He is the guru, and the king and everything else of ballot access. If you have a question about ballot access, you talk to Bill. So.
Well, I'm going to date myself here again. I mean, I'm just the Ed Sullivan of ballot access. I mean, the real acts are the people who go out there and get the signatures. I mean, those are the people. There are so many great petitioners, great paid petitioners and volunteer petitioners. And I know that if I go down the list, I'm going to leave someone out, but really tremendous people who are dedicated. And I must say, there are people, I mean, I'll name some people who've been petitioning in Alabama. Daryl Bonner, who has I've been a stalwart petitioner for the Libertarian Party going back probably 30 years at this point or more. And Bob Lynch, a Virginian, he petitioned for me in 2001 when I was a candidate for governor in Virginia, 2008 U.S. Senate. Arenza Thigpen, Karen Mooney's been down there. There are so many great petitioners going back 30 years. Somebody out there probably remembers the name Sevier White. Sevier is retired from petitioning, but he's living the high life in Norman, Oklahoma still, but he's retired from petitioning. But I could just go down the list, but those are the people. And the people, we've had petitioners in Alabama who have sacrificed financially. They have not gone out to California to work initiatives that are paying incredible money these days. They are earning good money, decent money in Alabama, but staying there because they want to be petitioning for the Libertarian Party. And it's really the loyalty from people like that is what has sustained ballot access more than anything I've done.
Well, Bill, I'm happy to have contributed to your campaign just a few minutes ago at billredpath.com, and I'm very excited to be here tonight. I hope that others will join me in jumping in this. And for those around the country, ballot access is important so we can get people into state houses, because state houses is where we can actually change the ballot access laws. So let's do that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for joining us on the Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza. We probably should have figured out what we were going to call that. But thank you again for joining us, Laura. And we will see you in Reno.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. So before we get to our next guest, we've got a couple of comments that Bootleg is going to pull up. And Adam Balling says, I went, what's that? Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, can we give a real quick shout out to the Bootleg Libertarian for producing all of this?
Yes.
Real quick shout out, Bootleg Libertarian.
Yes.
He's the man behind everything right now. He's the one producing all of this. So thank you to Bootleg. And for once, this Muddied Waters event cannot blame Muddied Waters.
Yes.
He is our Steven today.
The beginning audio issues finally are not our fault. No, he's doing a great job.
He's doing a fantastic job.
He's doing great work. I certainly would not want to be having to keep track of all these guests. So thank you so much for that.
No, not even a little bit.
Adam Balling says, I went on the website to donate now on another device. Open those wallets for some freedom. Right, Bill?
Thank you, Adam.
Yes.
We'll see you in Chicago soon.
Donnie Henry says, Bill Redpath is a man who has walked the walk for the liberty movement for decades. I donated, and I ask all of you to donate as well. Let's give back to a man that has sacrificed so much for us. Now, Donnie is in Peoria, which means that Bill Redpath is playing in Peoria.
All right. I've wanted to do that for years.
Yes, finally. And that's going to be the last. I can't promise that's the last cheesy joke I'll tell on this.
For the donation and the comment. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Donnie. Absolutely. So our, I guess I can bring us to our next guest. Oh no, sorry.
I guess that
brings us to our next guest, Matt.
It does bring us to our next guest. Our next guest was the Illinois Comptroller candidate for 2002, 2010, and 2014, and longtime chair of the Fox Valley Libertarians, Everybody, please welcome with me Julie Fox.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Spike. Great to see you. Spike, Matt, and Bootleg, thank you for making this happen. I want to talk. Everyone else has talked about Bill and petitioning, so let me start with talking about Bill's experience as a candidate. Bill has run for governor, he's run for U.S. Senate, he's run for Congress. He's done all those in Virginia, and in 2020, he ran for Congress in Illinois. And so he has a tremendous amount of experience behind him in running as a candidate. He really makes an extremely strong part to our state slate. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. It's good to remind people I'm not just about ballot access, even though that's mostly what I'm about, but there's more to the story than that, but thank you.
And Bill has been a major force in our Illinois party since he came to Illinois in 2019 to join me here. But you know, you can't really talk about Bill without talking about petitioning.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah. I do want to point out right now that he's probably the leader in our petition drive. Can you remind us, Bill, where are you right now on your signatures?
With the 41 today, I think I'm at 283 through day number 6. So
I would say that's pretty likely a lead there. And while there was snow on the ground this morning, Bill was out.
So, well, in any event, I was out, but had to throw in the towel this morning. But I was back out this afternoon for a couple of hours after the precipitation stopped falling.
And we've talked about Bill's legacy on ballot access. So just in case people don't know, he was, you know, he brought the LP to 50 state ballot status in 92 and 96. He was the first person to ever accomplish that in 2 consecutive elections for a third party. And he's pretty much been going nonstop since then. And I will tell you, I was on the LNC for 4 years. I really gained a great appreciation for ballot access, but I tell you that living with the man and going through a presidential ballot drive, you have no idea how hard he works. So thank you, Bill, for all you do. And I am happy to be a team here, part of the team here on the ground, getting Bill out to parades and helping however I can. So.
Right. You do a great job with the logistics. I'd be in sad shape with those parades without you. And by the way, speaking of revenue for Redpath, thank you, Julie. You gave me a very generous contribution a couple months ago, $1,000 to my campaign. And thank you. Very generous contribution. Just wanted to say thanks for that.
And you all can also donate with Julie. Join Julie in the $1,000 Revenue for Redpath Challenge by going to billredpath.com/donate and making your $1,000 donation right now. Don't hesitate. Don't even think about it. And thank you so much for that. And yeah, Julie, I can definitely echo everything you've said when it comes to ballot access. I first heard about Bill just before I got the nomination, about how, you know, whoever got the nomination, it would be Bill more than any other single person would be the one doing the heavy lifting, not just to do the actual signature drives, but to actually do all the coordination between the different states and making sure everything was set up correctly so that we had all 50 state ballot access. And we did. We were on all 50 state ballots plus DC and Guam. And all of that was because of the hard work of Bill and many others as well, but none more so than any other single person but Bill. But thank you again. Do you want to give one last message to folks before we say goodbye?
Join Bill. Hey, if you're in Illinois, please join Bill and get out there and help Bill and our other candidates get on the ballot. And of course, provide some revenue for Redpath tonight if you can.
Yes. Yes. Thank
Wonderful.
you so much, Julie. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you, Julie.
Thank you,
Appreciate you for
Julie.
coming out.
Absolutely. And
Love you.
speaking of revenue, our next guest is the treasurer of the Libertarian Party of Illinois. He's also the campaign manager for Jesse White for Secretary of State, who is running on the Libertarian slate in Illinois alongside Bill. Please welcome to the Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza, Mr. Russ Clark. Russ, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks everybody for letting me come in. And, I want to say that the Revenue for Redpath is a great idea. Please, please, please donate to Bill Redpath because he's an awesome candidate. He's definitely going to do the Libertarian Party proud. And, I don't know if it's been covered in the presentation before, but he's got one heck of a weird opponent in the Republican primary. There's about 5 or 6 different candidates. None of them has any name recognition whatsoever. But I know that people in libertarian circles, particularly here in Illinois, they know Bill Redpath's name. So, there's definitely going to be some dedicated libertarian activists going out and campaigning for Bill and getting literature out there, letting people know that Bill's the person to have in the U.S. Senate.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Russ.
Absolutely.
So anyways, as treasurer for the Libertarian Party of Illinois, I can tell you that let's say that Bill, what's your max contribution?
Max contribution,
Yes.
right? To what? To
your campaign. What's your max contribution?
Right now, the legal max contribution is $5,800.
That's right. But did you know? Now let's say that somebody's given you the maximum. Did you know that they can give the Libertarian Party of Illinois another $10,000? That's our maximum contribution limit for federal regulation, for federal elections. And then if you're feeling extra generous, extra magnanimous, you can give us another $12,000 on top of that. That will be used for Illinois races as well. So you can give up to $22,000 to the Libertarian Party of Illinois, and we will definitely use that for ballot access. So, but again, this is the Redpath for U.S. Senate show. This is definitely we need to get those maximum contributions out there as well.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, the LPIL is a good cause too, but I appreciate whatever people can give to anywhere to help the Libertarian Party of Illinois, Redpath for U.S. Senate, of course.
Yeah. And I'll take this last minute if I can. I obviously want to talk about Jesse White. So for those people who don't know, particularly outside of the state of Illinois, Jesse White is the name of the retiring Secretary of State. He's been in office since 1998, and he was the lead vote getter in the past 3 cycles. He beat out every governor candidate. He beat out the U.S. Senate candidates. He got 68, 65, and 69% of the vote in the last 3 cycles. So you don't get that unless you're wildly successful, wildly popular. He's retiring. Jesse White has actually been answering his phone calls in Centralia, Illinois for the past since 2004. So if I do my math right, that's going to be the past 18 years. He's been answering the phone for Jesse White in Centralia. He's been getting lots of phone calls from people confused about the DMV's office, looking for hours, where are they located. So not only is he running for Secretary of State, he's actually been doing the job just in his hometown of Centralia, Illinois for the past 18 years. So, so when people say, well, he doesn't have any experience, he actually does. He's been fielding those phone calls. So
fantastic. No one knows how to do the job of being Jesse White better than Jesse White.
That's right.
Who else could be Jesse White as well as Jesse White? So thank you, Russ, so much. Thank you again for joining us, and good luck to you and to the Libertarian Party of Illinois and to the Jesse White campaign to replace Jesse White with Jesse White. Thank you so much, Russ. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys. Good
Thanks,
luck.
Russ.
Thank you so much, Russ. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yep.
Take care. Thanks.
And be sure to give your generous $27,000 donation by first going to billredpath.com/donate, making the maximum $5,000 donation, then heading on over to lpillinois.org and making your $22,000 donation there.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, coming up next, our next guest was the Illinois Lieutenant Governor candidate in 2018, is arguably one of the best dressed libertarians in the country. Everybody, please welcome with me Sanj Mohib.
Hey guys.
Hey, Sanj.
Hi Bill. Hi Spike. Hi Matt. It's good to see
How
you.
you doing?
All right. How you
Good to see
doing?
you.
Good. Spike, it's good to talk to you during the Festival of Freedom Passover.
Yes. Liberty Pesach. Yes.
I don't know all about it, but I do know that the first day and the last day are days of rest. So I know
Yes.
the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms social media department is happy on those 2 days.
That's what I do on my days of rest, though. So it's actually, that's when it gets ramped up. So, yeah.
That's how he relaxes.
Nightmares for them. Well, I'm very happy to be here for the revenue for Redpath. I was just about to donate, but I do not know the website address. So if someone could please tell me that address, I would be very happy.
Yes.
Absolutely. The address is redpathforussenate.com/donate.
Excellent.
Or if that's too many words, billredpath.com/donate. They both go to the same site.
Bill Red.
Yeah, both go to the same place.
I'm writing that down right now so I don't forget it.
Yes, please.
So I know others have talked about Bill's experience in the party. And I just want to say that he's the most unique libertarian in our state because he moved to Illinois. A libertarian moved to Illinois. So, I mean, that doesn't happen too often. But he did it for love, the love of Julie Fox, and we love her. And we're happy Bill and Julie are together.
Yes.
Well, it's yeah, I know people. I explain why I did it, and until I do that, people look at me as if I'm half off my hinges. And when I'm out petitioning, there are some people who are so disgusted, so disillusioned that they just said, some guy said the other day, he says, I'm going to be out of here by November. I'm going to be out of here by November. And I said, but you're here now. You can sign my petition now. And he goes, I just want to get out of here. And he just wouldn't sign my petition and just walked away. And that's the way some people are. They just, a lot of people here just want to exit this state. But that's why it's important to present a political alternative here, because there are a lot of people who are fed up with the current regime in this state, and they're looking for some choice, looking for something different. And that's why it's important that we get on the ballot and present that to them.
Now, for you to get on the ballot, for you to be on that ballot in November, it's important for Liberty Party of Illinois members to go out and collect signatures. We need 25,000, whereas the Republicans and Democrats only need 5,000.
Right.
And 25,000 is just the minimum. You need 45,000 to be safe, roughly.
Yeah.
So, and once we get those signatures, that's going to take some money too. Mm-hmm. So I do believe I wrote it down. BillRedpath.com is where you want to go to
/donate.
/donate.
There it is.
Yes.
/donate. Excellent.
Yes.
I just want to say a couple other things. Bill makes the strongest martinis I've ever had. If when you become senator, I hope you enact a bill that allows other bars to sell the Billtini, because that's like being 3 shots in one. So
legalize Billtinis.
Yes, I'll go in and show them how I do it. It is the eighth wonder of the world is my martinis, I think.
Yeah, we got to save the Billtini, so we've got to collect those signatures.
Yes. Otherwise,
I'll tell you, Bill is also a sports guy. I mean, you want to know what sports playing tonight? He could probably tell you. He could tell you the spread, the teams, everything you need to know. So he's also our, for the Libertarian Party of Illinois, he's our sports guy too. So
Yeah, I'm strange among libertarians being a sports guy.
Yes.
But yeah, when I was in Washington, I was a season ticket holder for the Washington Nationals during their first 15 seasons. I think I was a Washington Wizards NBA season ticket holder for 29 years. But I put that behind me. It's just it's too much of a hassle to go going into Chicago frequently, to go to Wrigley or United Center. I go every once in a while, but I'm not going nearly as much as I did in DC. That's for sure.
our traffic is pretty bad here too. So just like DC, but
yeah, right.
Well, thank you, San, so much for joining us and our quest for legalizing Bill-tinis, otherwise known as just a glass full of vodka. Thank you again, San, for joining us.
Yes, and go donate it. I wrote it down with my pen right now.
BillRedpath.com.
Don't
/donate.
All right, guys. Good night.
Okay, Sanj. Thanks.
Thank you, Sanj.
Thanks for having a bad memory.
So, Bill, we've
ahead.
got somebody was asking when are signatures due in Illinois?
The final deadline is 12 weeks from today, Monday, July 11. That is the turn-in day.
July
So that means that the last day of petitioning will be the day before, Sunday, July 10, and then we've got to get the signatures to Springfield and organize them in the way they need to be organized for the turn-in. But yeah, the turn-in will occur on Monday, July 11. That is the legal deadline.
Gotcha.
Very good. So anyone who wants to help with that, go to billredpath.com and contact them, and they will get you all hooked up, or go to lpillinois.org and they can get you hooked up as well to help with ballot access signatures. So our next guest is actually a video that has been submitted by the current chair of the Libertarian Party of Illinois. He also teaches radio production and media at Illinois State University. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here live tonight, but he has submitted a video. So everyone join us in watching this great video from the current chair of the Libertarian Party of Illinois, Steve Cease.
Hey, everybody. My name is Steve Cease. I'm the chairman of the Libertarian Party of Illinois. And I know everyone's going to talk about how great Bill is tonight and why we should give him money. And that's all totally legitimate. Since Bill showed up in Illinois, he has been one of the hardest working volunteers that we have. I have maybe never met anyone else, maybe Lex Green, maybe no one else has put more of themselves into the Libertarian Party than Bill Redpath has. Before Bill got to Illinois, I heard all these stories about this ballot access guru from Virginia who was, awesome and running for Senate and all that. And I'm so happy that we were able to have him move into state, and now he's running for office here. And we could not be more excited about Bill's campaign. I want to talk to you a little bit about something else you can do if you can't give money tonight, because we do need an extraordinary amount of help gathering signatures for our entire slate of state candidates here in Illinois. Illinois ballot access laws are some of the worst in the entire country, whereas Democrats and Republicans need just 5,000 signatures to get on the ballot, even less this year because of COVID-19. We need a minimum of 25,000 signatures to make the ballot, and that's a minimum. And if anyone's ever fought a petition challenge before, the Democrats and Republicans come after you pretty hard. Realistically, we probably need a minimum of 40,000 signatures, and we'd feel much more comfortable if we were able to get up into the 45 and even 50,000 signature mark. To do that, obviously, we'll have to pay for some, and that's part of the reason why this fundraiser is so important tonight. But also, we want to get as many volunteer signatures as possible. So if you live near Illinois, if you're able to travel to Illinois and help out Bill and the rest of our state candidates this year, it would be extremely helpful. I know Bill's traveled to several states, even this year, helping out with ballot access. It's time to return the favor, folks. Help Bill Redpath get on the ballot, and help all of our statewide candidates get on the ballot by collecting some volunteer signatures in the state of Illinois this year. We probably have one of our best chances at statewide ballot access this year. If anyone's familiar with Illinois politics, we've had a Secretary of State named Jesse White, who's a Democrat. He's been in office for, 30, 40 years, something like that. He decided he's not running this time around, and just happenstance, the Libertarian Party found a Jesse White within our party ranks, and we have our own Jesse White running for Secretary of State this year. Beyond that, we have a group of great candidates. Scott Schluter for governor. Of course, Bill is on the ballot as well. Up and down, we have a full slate, and I'm really excited for our candidates, but our candidates need help to get on the ballot. So if you can't give Bill money tonight, please consider either finding a way to get to Illinois, if you're already here, printing out our petition at lpillinois.org, and gathering some volunteer petition signatures. Again, we need realistically 40,000 minimum, and that's going to be a lot of change if we have to pay for all those. And realistically, if we have to pay for all of them, we're not going to get on the ballot. We need volunteer signatures. So support Bill, support the Libertarian Party of Illinois, and I can't tell you how excited I am for our candidates this cycle.
Thank you for that, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Speaking of the ballot access bill, you have collected signatures in just the last 18 months in Iowa, Wisconsin, Alabama, a lot of that on your own dime. Tell us very briefly before we introduce the next guest, what this means to you, what ballot access means to you.
Well, it's something that is extremely important. You don't have a political party really unless you have candidates on the ballot. And this is a first step leading down the road to greater success. But it is by itself, ballot access, the widespread ballot access that the Libertarian Party has achieved is really unequaled. Well, Richard Wenger could speak to this with greater authority than I. But I think that the ballot access success that the Libertarian Party has earned over the past 50 years, I don't think there's any equal to it because ballot access laws were really tightened up in the 1950s in reaction to the Communist Party success in some elections in the United States. And particularly it got tightened up again after George Wallace in his presidential campaign in 1968. And back in the day, earlier in the 20th century, about 100 years ago, the ballot access barriers were not nearly as tough as what they were built up to be in the 1950s and 1960s, early 1970s. And it is now easier. We've made success, we've had success lobbying and through lawsuits. It really is a lot easier, particularly to put a presidential ticket on the ballot in various states than it used to be. But it's still very difficult down ticket in states in Illinois and Georgia. It's extremely difficult to get candidates on the ballot for U.S. House or State Senate. And that's where we need to, Richard Wenger, I was just talking with the other day, we've got to work more on lobbying to try to knock down ballot access barriers. And I hope to do that in the future with Richard and with other people. But just standing up, just getting on the ballot and speaking truth to power to entrenched R&D politicians is itself an achievement, and getting elected to office, of course, is a greater accomplishment. But just ballot access in and of itself, I find meaningful.
Absolutely,
absolutely. So allow me to introduce our next guest, the communications director for the Libertarian Party of Illinois. Amanda has been involved in campaigns all around the country and for so many different presidential campaigns, including Kim Ruff, Dan Berman, and Darryl Perry. Everybody, please welcome Amanda Parsons.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Bill, I heard you're running for office.
Yes, that is a rumor that's rampant. I'm not.
Don't know where that started.
I'm not going to deny it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, who does that? Who runs for office? Come on, Bill. Who runs for office? Now,
a whole bunch of libertarians, thank goodness.
Well, in seriousness, like you, I too moved to Illinois from another state, and I have had my sanity questioned as well. So we are in the same boat as far as that goes. And you mentioned Georgia. as having awful ballot access rules, and that's where I came from. So I'm a glutton for punishment, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's difficult, and unfortunately, the litigation, Libertarian Party of Georgia sued Georgia and won at the U.S. District Court level, but then just lost at an appellate court level. And these judges who think that a petition requirement of 5% of the registered voters in the district is reasonable. I bet they've never gotten out there with a clipboard themselves and tasted it firsthand, as so many libertarians have. I'd be happy to tell them just how difficult it is. So it's sometimes the judiciary comes through and other times it does not. And it's maddening, some of the reasoning of their opinions. But anyway, let's set that aside. We're here to talk good thoughts, think good thoughts, talk good thoughts here this evening.
So, I put out the newsletter and I'm forever coming to you and saying, tell me about your career. And you promptly send me to wikipedia.com to get all the information that I need. But, in finding all the information that I need, and I do find it on Wikipedia, you have such an extensive libertarian career, and it's everywhere you go. You touch things and they turn to gold, Bill. So it's very exciting to have you in the state because you are a man who knows what he's doing. You've been very successful with ballot access, and I would hope that all the work that you put into ballot access in our state, it can come back to you in the form of donations or signatures for you.
Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. I really appreciate that. And it is a labor of love for the most part. I don't know if I can say I enjoy petitioning, but I don't dislike it enough to not do it. I mean, it is very important, and it has its moments. It's something that I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, I'm up to 283 on this drive, and I'm actually looking forward when I read about the craziness going on, the behavior of R&D politicians and their ridiculous policies and the shape this nation is in and the world is in certain ways. The Libertarian Party provides a rational alternative to the policies that are wreaking havoc in this nation and around the world. And that's, that I go, well, I'm doing what I can to try to make things more rational in Illinois and in the United States. And it's very meaningful, to be a part of the LP and to run for office. And Harry Brown was right. He said, somebody once said, well, Mr. Brown, if you run for president and you're not elected, it will all be a great waste, won't it? And he says, no, absolutely not. I may not have been elected, but in the Libertarian Party, I have met the greatest people that I've ever met. And I absolutely agree with that. That comment was spot on, was then, still is now.
I know we appreciate having you here, but rumor has it that if you maybe show your chest in public, just kind of pull your shirt back.
No, Brian.
that it might attract some people to sign for your
form. Brian will reach through the internet and strangle me if I do that.
That only works during the nomination contest. That is not for the general election. You don't do
Brian
that in the general.
will. Yes, Brian just confirmed that he would do that. So I value my not just my sanity, but my ability to
your
survive.
Safety. Your safety.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
health and well-being.
Yes, thank you. And Amanda, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Take care.
Thank you. And folks, our next guest tonight is he was the Libertarian candidate for governor back in 2010. He was a two-term chair of the Libertarian Party of Illinois. One of the greatest things to happen to the Libertarian Party of Illinois ever, and that's something that's not in the notes. I just came up with that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lex Green. Lex, thanks so much for joining us, and it was great seeing you a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, it's great seeing you in Texas down here.
Yep.
And it's going to be hard to live up to that billing, but thank you for saying that. Although I have to say my contributions to the party pale compared to Bill. Yeah. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Lex. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I wish we saw each other more often, but now that there's 1,000 miles between us, it's going to be harder. I remember I met Bill in 2010 when he chaired the convention in St. Louis. That was an easy one for us to go to here in Illinois, an eye-opener for me. But I didn't really get to know you, Bill, for a couple years until you came to Illinois to help us petition. I mean, I inherited the Ballot Access position as political director for a number of years, and Bill obviously had to have contact with me because we were, constantly in need of assistance. But Bill graciously came to Illinois to petition. And I remember he came to our house, and when he arrived, he was all business, and he had a lot of things to deal with, fresh off of his trip, and he was attending to business. And looking at us, I'm not sure if he really knew for sure if he liked us or not. Until he sat down and our dog Baxter jumped on his lap, and Bill his smile grew so big, and I think at that point he figured that if we had Baxter, we must be all right. So, and we've been very good friends ever since.
Absolutely. Thank you for hosting me at your house. There were about 3 different times. I think it was 2012, 2014, and 2016. I stayed at your place in Bloomington. And sorry if I appeared gruff at first or whatever. But Baxter, I love dogs, and Baxter is fantastic.
No, that only lasted about a half an hour until you saw Baxter. But again, we didn't know each other very well. But I do have to say that I was so impressed also that Bill would leave early in the morning. I don't care what the weather was like, whether there was a threat of rain or more commonly 90-degree weather out there, and he would be out all day long and come back. Of course, as the person handling the petition drive, he would turn in his petitions to me. Since he was staying with me, that was convenient. But and then we would run our validity checks, and it was near a college campus, which is notorious for not having good validity because, college kids don't always know where they're registered to vote. But Bill's validity was over 90% every single time. And it was just amazing to see him. I think you would bring home, after 4 days of petitioning, you'd have over 600 signatures. Really impressive.
Well, thanks. It was an honor to come out and be a part of that in Illinois. I knew you guys needed the help. And I've just, I try to lead by example in the Libertarian Party. And that was an opportunity for me to do that. And Lex, thank you for all you've done for the party, the Libertarian Party of Illinois, and particularly being my webmaster, which I wouldn't have the foggiest idea what to do. I would literally break the internet if I were a webmaster. So thank you for your talents and saving me.
I'm doing my best. I'll try to do better going forward. But the one thing I know is the donate page works. And so anybody watching, hey, go to redpathforusenate.com. There is a donate page. There's a donate button. There's a lot of options. And as a matter of fact, I was just talking to Karen, my wife, just a few minutes before I came in here. She says hi too, by the way, Bill.
Hello, Karen.
And she also says, let's give him $250 for his campaign tonight.
Wow.
We want to lead by example as well. And I challenge everybody out there, if we're going to give $250, you can give at least $25. Everybody who's listening right now, give us $25 or more, and let's get this campaign off to a good start. And not only do you need the money for petitioning, you also are going to need the money for yard signs, for brochures, for travel costs, and I predict very good things. But we need every campaign needs money, and like I said, we'll lead by example and jump right in here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that, Lex.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So long. Take care. Thank you.
Now, our next guest is the former chair of Fair Vote, which supports ranked choice voting efforts to be implemented around the country. So everybody, please welcome with me, as a 30-year dream has now come true, and welcome Chris Novoselic, the Grammy Award-winning bassist from Nirvana.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good evening. I'm so happy to be here supporting Bill Redpath's candidacy for United States Senator of Illinois. You know, in 2020, who really voted for Joe Biden and who voted for Donald Trump? People voted against Donald Trump. People voted against Joe Biden. And I voted in 2016 for Gary Johnson. And in 2020, I voted for Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen.
Thank you so much, Chris.
I voted for these candidates, and these were good votes. And vote for Bill Redpath is a good vote. So I urge people in Illinois to have the only sensible candidate to vote for, and that's Bill Redpath. And Bill and I worked together on the board of Fair Vote. I was the chair, and Bill was the treasurer, and we were working around the country, mostly local efforts to support greater ballot access or voting rules that give voters more choices and more voices. And working with Bill, and also before I was chair, the chair before me was John B. Anderson, who was a United States House member from 1960 to 1980 in Illinois. And he also had an iconic presidential candidacy in 1980. And it was a real honor and pleasure to work with John B. Anderson. And I know Bill remembers working with him too, and how wonderful a person he was. And I bring that up because I feel that Bill has that kind of gravitas. He's that kind of a statesperson, and he's the kind of political leader that the United States needs right now. There's so many kooky lefties, so many kooky righties, and you have Bill, who's just a pragmatic, common sense representatives, United States Senator, a leader, and that's the kind of person we need in the United States. So I'm giving Darby, my wife Darby and I were contributing to the campaign, and we want people to join us all around the country. Bill will also be our sponsor in the United States Senate for the Fair Representation Act, which proposes proportional representation for the United States House of Representatives, solving gerrymandering once and for all, giving voters all around the country a voice on who gets elected to the United States House. So that is a huge step for democracy in the 21st century in the United States. And when we get that passed, there's going to be two eras in American politics: the pre-proportional era and the post-proportional era. So that's the kind of leadership that Bill Redpath is going to provide us to make a path into this great future for the United States.
Chris, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was really great to hear. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for running.
Well, you're welcome. And I got to say, I mean, there were a lot of good people at Fair Vote. You know, I mean, we really, there was you, there was John Anderson, there was Rick Hertzberg. I mean, you go down the whole list of people who were on that board. It was an honor to be involved with them, because that's what it's electoral reform that would really give alternatives like the Libertarian Party real electoral life, much greater electoral life, to combat the R's and D's on the election playing field, so to speak. And it's in Fair Vote, we really made a lot of progress to give people, you know, greater choices, more voices, as you said.
Yeah, it's just nonpartisan. It's just about being an American, being a voter, and just having real choices on the ballot and gaining representation, not just having someone on the ballot, but having a fair shot at electing somebody and having them represent folks' needs and values.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
And
thank you.
not a moment too soon, right, Chris? I mean, you look at the record debt that we have right now. You look at the problems with inflation and everything. Clearly, Republicans and Democrats haven't been doing it, and we need more representation.
And that's not even an issue in our elections. $30 trillion debt. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at just the debt service, that money is like a huge federal program in itself.
I know. I
Exactly.
mean, you have huge issues coming up that are not being discussed, like the Medicare Trust Fund. Medicare Trust Fund is going to run out in 2026. That's going to be a jolt to this society when it happens. And it's not being discussed right now by politicians. It's probably not going to be discussed much except by libertarian candidates in 2022. And who knows what's going to happen in 2024 on that issue, but it is supremely important.
I hear a wonderful, wonderful candidate for United States Senate in Illinois talking about the real issues affecting Americans, not these baloney narratives that the media. And don't get me started on the media and the warfare state. But I'm not going to go there. But just one of the real things that really affect people: inflation. Programs that people depend on. Bill Redpath is a pragmatic candidate. He's the center guy. He's going to accomplish things and not follow these narratives on the right and left that are leading our country to ruin.
Absolutely.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on. It's an honor to be able to introduce you.
And yes, and Chris, thank you for your friendship over the years and all you've done with the electoral reform movement. And thanks to you and Darbury for your contribution to my campaign.
We're giving.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. That was awesome. So before we go to our next guest, let's go to a couple of the comments that have been coming in. We got quite a few of them. Jesse White, who is Jesse White is retired. Long live Jesse White for Secretary of State, just donated and thanked Bill for everything he's doing. Thank you so much, Jesse. Libertarian Party of Chicago says Bill Redpath for Senate needs volunteers to carry his banner at Libertarians at Polish Constitution Day Parade on May 7th. Send an email to chicagolibertarians@gmail.com to volunteer. Anyone living in or near the Chicagoland area, reach out to the Libertarian Party of Chicago to help with volunteers to carry banners. And I'm sure they got all sorts of other stuff that you can help with as well. chicagolibertarians@gmail.com. And of course, billredpath.com/donate to donate to Bill's campaign. Let's see what else we got. Amanda Parsons says, by the way, the secret ingredient in Bill's martinis is the tears of Democrats or Republicans. Again, just another word for vodka.
That's just
right.
I'll sue her for publicly disclosing trade secrets.
Yes. Republican tears brand vodka. And so speaking of vodka, there's no segue to this. Folks, our next guest. Oh no, sorry.
So our next guest is a former presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party and somebody I can proudly call my friend. Everybody,
Yes.
Welcome with me, Dan, middle name, legitimately, taxation is theft, Berman.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Dan?
Good to see you. I feel like we're at the convention already.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Where'd Bill go? I have a question for Bill. I was gonna give him a pop quiz. All right.
Oh.
I'm gonna read you a quote. I want you to tell me where it's from.
Oh,
it's all right. All men are by nature free and independent and have certain inherent and inalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights and the protection of property, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
Preamble to the Constitution?
Nope.
The Declaration of Independence?
Nope. Inspired by, probably. So I was doing some research last week because life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, we hear it all the time. It's not actually in the Constitution. It kind of alludes to it with the 9th Amendment. Go look that up if you don't know what it is. But it doesn't actually say life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is a right in the Constitution. But then I found something out. It is in some of the state constitutions. And the one I just read you is from Article 1, Bill of Rights in the Illinois State Constitution.
Oh, wow.
35 states actually have life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in their state constitutions as inalienable human rights. And yet somehow these guys are sitting around leeching off our happiness and doing everything they can to make us unhappy. How the hell are they getting away with that? This is no longer, the gap between the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. It's in the Constitution that it's a human right. Oh my God. I just wanted to throw that out there. So we don't talk enough about this kind of stuff. And I think this is what's really exciting. So I know everybody's like, okay, should I donate? Should I donate to Bill Redpath? Yes, because this is the kind of information when you donate to libertarian candidates that gets out there. This gets into the hands and minds of people, and this is how we free ourselves from this tyranny that's the state. Right?
Absolutely.
I want to throw one other thing out there. This is not legal advice, but I just want to say most people know you donate to a campaign and it's not tax deductible, right? But under the right conditions, if you were to, say, lose some money, just, fell out of your wallet, it went missing, lost it in a boating accident, I don't know, things happen, right? That could be tax deductible. And if somebody else were to find some money and donate it to a campaign, well, hey, wow, that's great. But not legal advice. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just
definitely not legal advice.
That's not legal advice.
Yes, thank you for that Illinois era campaign finance advice. Do you have any advice on how to vote multiple times?
As a matter of fact, I'm registered to vote in both California and Texas. So yes, because just ask yourself this question. How do you, once you're registered to vote, how do you unregister to vote?
I don't know.
How do you unregister? You just don't go vote. Eventually, if you don't go vote, they're going to eventually remove your name from the rolls, I think. Maybe not.
I don't know. I keep getting letters from California, and it's been a good 20 years.
Yes.
They haven't sent me any requests for jury duty, though. So, but I think they know me well enough to know that they don't want me on a jury now.
Yes. So this is thank you to chaotic good
non-legal advice from Dan Taxation is
non-legal advice from Dan Taxation.
You could call it illegal advice.
Yes, this is illegal advice. Yes, that's correct. Unlicensed illegal assault advice, if you will. High capacity assault advice.
High capacity assault donation. Which, by the way, okay, I want to say this. It is 9:13 Eastern time, 8:13 Central time. I just want to say this: the next donation that comes in, I'm giving away one of these hats. So the next donation that comes in, these amazing, and these sell for like $50,000 on NFT trade space, whatever.
Okay.
So the next donation to come in after, what did I say? 9:13.
9:13.
Central? Yeah.
9:13
we'll
Eastern.
get one of these
Eastern.
amazing hats, which you could turn around and sell on eBay for like $50,000 easy.
$50,000 hat to the next donation to come in to billredpath.com/donate. Dan, thank you again so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
Cool. So,
thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Yes. And so before we get back to our guests, let's go through some comments here. I don't know if there was any additional comments. Smells like Bill's spirit and heart-shaped Bill. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Bill Vana. This is Bill Vana.
This is Bill Vana. Yeah.
Bill Vana. What else do we have? Abolish the IRS. There we go. And that's from Humay for Cook County Board, I think it said. District number something. And first district, yes, for Cook County Board, first district. And I'm getting in my ear. I'm being told, Bill, plug in your laptop.
Yes, I thought my battery was full at the beginning of this. I thought I would clearly go 2 hours, but it's signaling me I need to plug in my AC. So I'll be back in a minute or two.
Yep, no problem.
So I don't suddenly disappear
please.
on you. So
Yes.
I shall return.
Okay.
Yes. And let's go through. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
So far already, fantastic night. Like amazing guests have been on. Dr. Mary Ruard, Dan Berman, Chris Novoselic, Julie Fox, Steve C. So amazing night with amazing people. And all of them are here for the obvious cause of donating money, raising money for Bill Redpath for U.S. Senate. So everybody should go to billredpath.com/donate and give today. Give the gift of liberty today.
Yes, give the gift.
Kids
of your
love it.
Kids love it. Give the gift of Bill Redpath. Kids love it. And you could also I would strongly recommend not doing whatever it was Dan said to do a moment ago. I stopped listening because
I'm not going to tell you not to.
Yeah, we're not. We're just not going to
tell you not to
do it.
You shouldn't do. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do. I'm just saying that
we're all grown adults here. So yes, billredpath.com/donate. And do we have one more comment?
I was going to say while we're waiting for Bill, do we have some more comments that we can take a look at?
No. Oh, thanks to Bill's team for putting this live stream together. It's been a good time. Yeah, this has been great. Shout out to Brian Lambrecht and to Bootleg Libertarian and to everyone in the background that is putting all this together. We aren't even having to our hands. We've been able to just keep our hands right here and not have to shuffle around.
I legitimately, I'm not sure what to do.
I've a few times it's just been like,
I'm like fidgety.
Yeah.
So like having the things to do gives me like some sort of sense of calm, and I'm sitting here unsure of what to do with my hands for the first time on a show.
First time in Muddy Waters history. But yeah, absolutely. Great job to everyone for putting this together. And so I guess we can go to our next guest. And Bill will be there's Bill just in time. So our next guest is a podcaster from Mississippi, where he lives with his lovely wife and children. He's going to give us his own take on a classic Johnny Cash song for us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cajun libertarian Noel Olind. Noel, thanks so much.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing great.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up? Bill, I am...
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Well, man, I am so sorry for the avalanche of obstacles that happened last week. I promise you that will not happen again. I will fix that situation.
Not a problem. I'm looking forward to getting on your podcast with you whenever Brian tells me to.
Oh man, this was like
I feel that so hard inside of
it. Deep in Spike. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, Bill, let me say this though, real quick before we get started. I can't thank you enough for the work that you've done within the LP, but not just within the LP, right? It's what you do in the community, because at the end of the day, the party is to run candidates, but what you do within the community is unparalleled and probably kind of unprecedented at some point, because getting ballot access is something that we struggle with very badly, and you are absolutely fantastic. So I can't thank you enough, man.
Well, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure most of the time. There are times when, when you're down to, I mean, let's face it. I mean, we made it on the ballot in Maine in 2020. The Joe Spike ticket made it with 7 signatures to spare. And believe me, there were a lot of fingernail chomping moments through that petition drive. But ultimately we prevailed. So, it is a calling that I went out and I've always found for me anyway, I've always found petitioning not that difficult. It doesn't excuse the horrible requirements that state legislatures throw on us in so many states. But it's something that I could do, and so I did it. It was about that simple.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people need to hear that, including myself, right? It is that simple to affect change in your community that quickly. All we have to do is be passionate. And we're all passionate and inspired on what we want to do within our communities. And so it's very inspiring to hear you say that, look, just put one foot in front of the other and let's put our priorities where they should be. And then we can move forward one step at a time in implementing liberty, and like real liberty, right? Not just the term we like to nonchalantly throw around, but this real liberty that we so much want. And one of the first steps towards that's ballot access and getting libertarians elected to office.
Right.
And so thank you so much for the work, and I can't wait to have you on. Hopefully this week. I won't allow anything to get in the way. So, but we'll see. Either way, I am obviously I am not Johnny Cash. So here we go. Liberty train is coming, it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen real freedom since I don't know when, 'cause I'm stuck in the duopoly, and the time is dragging on. And I hope that train is rolling right through everyone's home. When I was just a young boy, my mama told me, son, I always fight for freedom, because one day it might be gone. So I'll out Reno, because we have to be a team. Let's get that liberty train rolling right on through D.C. There's politicians sending our boys and girls to war, while they sit back and steal our tax and don't obey the law. So we have to stand for freedom and let them know to pack their bags. This liberty train is rolling, and it's rolling real fast. Thank you.
All right, Cajun.
Yes, thank you,
Appreciate
Cajun.
it, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it. We love you.
Yep. Thank you.
Talk with you
Love y'all.
soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
So our next guest is a fellow Floridian like me, and he was the national chair from 1985 to 1988. He has been elected city commissioner in his home of Alamonte Springs since 2017. Please welcome with me the wonderful Jim Turney.
Hey guys, how are
Hey,
y'all
Jim.
doing? Good to see you, Bill, Spike, Matt.
Good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you,
How
buddy.
are
It's good to
things
see you.
down in Florida?
Oh man, it's great. I'm working on my tan already.
It's 75. It's 75 right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it is a nice day. Not so much humidity for a change, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all pretty soon in Reno, though. So
Yes.
get your jackets ready.
5 weeks away. Yeah, five
Yeah.
weeks. I've been flying out there 5 weeks from Wednesday.
That's right.
Is
All
it
right.
5
well,
weeks from now?
5 weeks from this coming.
Wow.
The convention gavels in 5 weeks from this coming Friday.
It feels
Wow.
like 5 minutes to me because I'm working on it every day. So
Yes.
just spent the whole day getting things ready. So it's going to be an exciting record-breaking convention. with, I think, the most number of people we've had in ever at a convention. We've sold out of rooms. We're selling out of packages, filling up the rooms for everything. So it's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay.
We can't wait to be there, man.
So I was just thinking back, because it's our 50th anniversary, and that's one of the themes we're working on for the convention, and having some good breakouts. And we're going to have a panel of that'll include Bill, I hope, of some former chairs, and talk about our history. And that's going to be a lot of fun and reminiscing. And so I was thinking back, when did I first meet you, Bill? It's been a long time. I've known you so long, I don't even remember that far back.
I think I will tell you. I think it was Sunday, March 9. I want to say 1986. Seriously,
Okay.
I mean, it was in March 19.
How do you know the date? How?
I'm glad I brought this up, because I need to adjust my record. I think I'm about 24 hours off, maybe.
It was the Sunday. It was the Sunday that was the 8th or 9th of 1986. I drove down and met you because there was a Virginia SCC meeting, State Central Committee meeting, at your place. What, 800, 824? What was the number of that?
Wow, your memory is awesome.
West Broad.
West Broad Street in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah.
800 block of what? Was it 824?
It was 824, man. You
Oh my
nailed
God.
it.
Okay, so I got the address right.
How?
And
I think you got the time
but
of day right.
Mark Montoni.
You remember whether it was raining or not? And
It
what
was 80 degrees that day. It was very warm.
What? How?
How do you do this?
I was 4. You're describing a time that happened when I was 4.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I came down to SCC meeting. I actually thought, oh my God, I'm going down to the Libertarian Party of Virginia State Central Committee meeting. Will they even let me in? I mean, I could just see. I thought, well, I've never been to Richmond before. I'm going down. Maybe they won't let me in. At least I'll go down, visit Richmond. Well, Mark Montoni was there, Jim Elwood, Al Anders, and me. And I met you and I think Roy Scherer.
Yeah.
I think I met all you guys that day.
That's right. You would have. That would have been a typical group at our SCC meetings back in the day.
Right. So anyway,
cool. So super memory, man.
Well,
I am going to now put you on a few extra panels where we need to get the exact.
Yeah, really.
So
what was the humidity? What was the humidity level that day? Like.
Well, I don't have an didactic memory. Have you ever seen the 60 Minutes segment where people with these incredible memories come on? And there was one woman who literally, she could remember, they would pick random dates on such and such a date. Were you in New York on such a date? She would say yes. And they'd say, what was the weather that day? And they would pop random dates at this woman regarding what the weather was in New York on certain days. And she could accurately come up with the data off the top of her head.
That was the girl that was in.
I can't do that, but
that was the girl that was in Taxi.
No, it was something. Mary Lou Henner was in that. That was Mary Lou Henner. She's got a memory like that, but she was not the woman I was just describing.
Okay, because I saw her do something similar.
It was just a regular individual. They just began popping weather questions at her on particular dates in New York, and she came up with every one. It was incredible.
Well, I'm really impressed that you even remembered the first and last names of everybody in the room, the address where we were sitting, the date, the time of day. Incredible. I wish I could match that, but well, I would at that date. You said 86, right?
86, so, March of 86.
Yeah, I was in the middle of my first term of chair. And I got reelected in 87 when I chaired that convention. And so I adopted the motto of reelect Jim, and I'm still running on reelect Jim. So I'm reelectjim.com now. I've just gotten reelected the 3rd time here in my city.
Okay.
So I'm very proud of that. But we
Yes.
need to elect more libertarians. And I want to compliment you on all the incredible work you've done over the years to get libertarians on the ballot, because I've noticed something. You cannot elect anybody who's not on the ballot. It's really difficult. So
Yes.
you have done a fantastic job, Bill, of getting so many libertarians on the ballot. So here's a question to see how good your memory is. How many libertarians have you helped get on the ballot in your lifetime? I'm sure you're keeping count, right?
Oh no, I have no idea about I have no idea because it, you know, if we in some states, if you achieve ballot status for the party, then they can put any number of candidates on the ballot, and I certainly haven't been tracking that. But
really incredible.
It's been a fair number, probably, yeah. So
oh man, I would have thought you've hit the 4-digit mark at least. It must be thousands and thousands by now.
Yeah.
So I'm just impressed and so pleased that you are on our team, and it's just incredible the contribution you've made. That I don't know where the Libertarian Party would be if it hadn't been for you all these years. And I've seen you up close campaigning as well in Virginia, also back in the day, and was a little surprised that you went over to Illinois years ago, but I want to see you do well there. So
hope to.
Well, thank
glad to be here to help.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
yeah,
Jim.
Thanks so much, Jim.
All right.
We
We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you in Reno.
soon.
Thanks, man.
All the best.
Take care, Jim.
Thank you. And our next guest also is a former chair of the Libertarian National Party. He was the chair from 2010 to 2012. He has also been a member of the LP going back to the 70s. He's also run for office multiple times himself. If you've been following the Libertarian Party, then you certainly know who I'm about to introduce. Please welcome to the Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza, Mr. Mark Hinkle. Mark, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Hey.
Gentlemen, good evening. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Doing great. Doing great. How are you, Mark?
Good. I'm out here in sunny California, or as we refer to it, Taxifornia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hanging in there.
Yes.
Hanging in there.
Yes. Well, I got to say that, I mean, in certain respects, the tax situation is worse in California than it is in Illinois. It's not good here, but man, you've got much higher income tax rates out there and a progressive system as opposed to a flat tax here.
Well, as our tax buddy, Libertarian, God, I'm just trying to blank on, Richard Ryder has a blog that he keeps up called Breaking Bad California. And he points out we have the worst state income tax, the worst sales tax on gasoline, highest sales tax. Regarding gasoline, though, because we have the highest taxes on gasoline, we have the third to the worst roads in the entire United States. That's how bad it is.
Right.
And I don't know if you are also aware of this, but if you're moving to California and you need to rent a U-Haul trailer, it's dirt cheap. Leaving California, just the opposite, because all
so
of the
expensive.
U-Haul trailers are leaving California.
Right. Right.
So, anyhow, I understand tonight's scenario is to sing the praise of Bill Redpath, and I can certainly do that. You know, we're former state chairs or national chairs. Bill stepped in when we had a treasurer resigned and stepped in as the treasurer role. So you've served in that capacity. So thank you very much for that. But I think the creme de la creme is, of course, is ballot access. You have been the champion of ballot access, and it's so critical. That's one of the proper functions and one of the ideal functions for the National Party to delegate to the National Party. And you've been the champion from day one. And I like to refer to Bill as a libertarian lifer. But Bill, you go one step further, don't you?
How so?
Well, dare I mention the executive to your state?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Yes.
Not only is Bill dedicated to the Libertarian Party in this life, but when he leaves this life, Jim Lark, Richard Wenger and myself are executor to his estate. And that means, of course, the money from his estate will go to the Libertarian Party and I presume ballot access.
Oh, yeah, it's directed toward ballot access, yes. And electoral reform.
And electoral reform, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, by the way, we've ramped up ranked choice voting out here in California. So it's they're going strong and we're working with them.
Okay, excellent. That is good to
So,
know.
yeah, can't sing the praises of Bill Redpath any higher. You get the job done, and that's what's critical.
Well, thank you. I was just wondering, you talk about lifer. When did you join the LP?
Well, I voted for John Hospers in '72, and I think I officially voted or signed up as a dues paying member in '74.
Wow.
And in fact, Ed Crane signed my national lifetime membership card. If that name rings a bell for maybe, does everybody know who Ed Crane is?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. Our condolences for living in California, but we're going to fight for liberty there as well. And thank you again so much, man. We really appreciate it.
Well, in the end of the next month, I get to escape to Reno and meet all you guys. So at least I'll
exactly.
leave.
We'll see you in Reno.
I'll be free for a couple of days.
See you
awesome.
10%
We'll see you there,
of the
man.
year.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Mark.
Our next guest is yet another former national chair from 2000-2002. Jim Lark is a member of the exclusive Hall of Liberty and has served over a decade on the LNC and is active in college campus organization. Everybody put your hands together for Mr. Jim Lark.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. I'm pleased to say that with Turney, Hinkle, Redpath, and Lark, we now have enough chairs for a dining room set.
Finally, LP chairs that are good for something.
I'll also mention that while you were at the SEC meeting on March 9th, 1986, I was in my apartment in Evanston watching Duke beat Georgia Tech in the ACC men's basketball championship. It was 68-67.
Okay.
How? I don't remember what I did
well, I'm going to do my bad.
Tuesday.
I'm going to do my bad, Dustin. Definitely Duke over Georgia Tech. Definitely.
That's
great
You're both
game.
putting off very strong vibes that way.
Definitely, wonderful ball game. Very sparkly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing you don't want to get involved in with Jim Lark is challenging each other on college basketball trivia. That's for sure, because Jim will eventually pull some incredible fact out that he says, well, there's no reason really for you to know this, but he sort of implies if you're a real basketball fan like he is, you would. And this guy's college basketball knowledge in particular is unparalleled.
No, if you were insane the way I am and mentally challenged, then you would remember that, of course.
Okay. So anyway, but I've known Jim since 1986. We met at a Marshall Fritz Advocates for Self-Government event in Bethesda, Maryland.
Late June.
Late June, early July, something like that.
That's correct.
1986.
You, Montoni, and me, along with Carl Hess, we were all there.
Yeah. Carl Hess. Wow.
So the Fab Four.
Okay. So in any event, and how long were you on the LNC?
10 terms.
Okay, so it was 10 terms, not 10 years. That's my bad. I knew it was over 10 years, but I didn't know exactly how long. So it's more like
they couldn't get rid of me until just recently.
20 years. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. That's making little rocks out of big rocks for a long time.
Well, I finished my sentence and I'm now out on parole.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you for all of your service to the party, Jim, and thank you for joining us here to help promote the campaign for Bill Redpath running for U.S. Senate. And tell us, when as chair, what were some of the top priorities you had for when someone would make a donation to a campaign? The kind of stuff that Bill will be able to do when a donation's made.
Well, I think I'll just say what I think is most important about Bill's campaign is that Bill will provide a sensible, sober voice for good ideas in this campaign. You, of course, Senator Duckworth. You have a gaggle of Republicans, none of whom, as far as I can tell, are likely to bring any common sense. And Bill, who, by the way, is numerate, unlike many of the people in the United States Senate, Bill does not have to use his fingers and toes to count. He actually understands something about accounting principles. Bill will bring a very sane, sober, libertarian voice to the discussion. And I think if he has the opportunity to face the Democrat and Republican in the race, Bill will elevate the quality of the debate because, as Chris Novoselic said, Bill is talking about real issues that will be of importance to the voters of the great state of Illinois. And I think he will provide an enormous public service simply by virtue of his presence. And if he is elected, which I certainly hope he will be, he is going to be a tremendous voice for liberty and for sanity in the United States Senate, perhaps the only one there right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Jim.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jim. And
Thanks
thank you
so
for
much,
your
Jim.
thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us for the Redpath Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza, and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks,
Yes.
Jim. Thanks.
And again, Redpath for USSenate.com/donate. Now I have some terrible news for you folks. You can't donate more than $5,000 to Bill for this campaign. So if you were hoping to donate $7,000, the bad news is you can only donate $5,000 to Bill. But if you want to donate over and above that $5,000, you can give up to another $22,000 by going to lpillinois.org.
Actually, just to amend that, it's $5,800 to me through a primary day in Illinois, because we are still in the primary period for the R's and D's in Illinois, and I cannot be put at a disadvantage. So those people can get $2,900 in primary funds and then $2,900 for the general election. And because I cannot be put at a disadvantage until their primary is over, people can give me up to $5,800 after their primary. The legal maximum would be $2,900.
Okay, so $5,800 now, and then $2,900 after that. So Redpath for USSenate.com/donate. Let's pull up a couple comments before we go to our next guest here. Adam Balling, yes, dedicated to liberty from beyond the grave. Yes, Bill will continue fighting for liberty in his demise. So in both life and death, Bill will be fighting for liberty.
Yes.
Hi from Bill's social media.
Yes, Sierra.
Team. Yes, Sierra. Thanks to everyone for your help and donations. Thank you, Sierra, for all the hard work that you do for everyone, for multiple campaigns and efforts across the country. Thank you so much, Sierra. And do we have?
I wanted to say
Matt.
real quick. Alex Odell said that he is watching the Bill Redpath or Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza from labor and delivery as they wait for his son to be born. So the highest and best use of his time waiting for his son to be born by watching the Revenue for Redpath Extravaganza. And we hope that it is a quick delivery for you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Or your wife.
Yes, that is dedication. So thank you.
Yes. Shout out to DeKalb County, LP, and Alex. And just remember, be sure to tell your child, this was the moment that Bill Redpath raised funds for his campaign. That's what you'll remember from this day, I'm sure. So speaking of memorable moments, I don't have a good segue. Our next guest is also speaking of mothers, our next guest, coincidentally, also a mother and a wife. She lives in Alaska, and she fights to keep her state as free from federal control as possible, while defending the environment from government overreach and standing up for the rights of the indigenous people there in Alaska. Please welcome our next guest, the Eskimo libertarian herself, Nulik Trupp. Nulik, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah.
Hey.
And hey, Bill, this is the first time I get to see you. I've actually talked to you on the phone before, but now I get to see you.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Nulik, really appreciate it. I haven't met you before, but Brian Lambrick certainly says a lot of great things about you, and what
Yes.
you're doing up in Alaska.
Thanks. Yeah.
What's the weather up there today, by the way?
It's really nice. It's like in the 40s, and so we're out there in like t-shirts. The sun is out. The snow is finally melting, and so it is just gorgeous. I was out there and I went for like a 7-mile hike today. Just
Warmer in Alaska today than it was in Illinois, I can tell you that.
yeah, it was just absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited that spring is here. The caribou are having their babies. The bears are coming out of their den. We're gonna go spring bear hunting soon, so I'm excited.
All right.
It's-
The wilderness
Yeah.
life is not, the wilderness life is not for me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
probably am your most exotic guest from the farthest away, and
Yes, definitely from the furthest away.
For
I was
sure.
actually there this time last year, and it was the same thing. It was, everyone was saying how beautiful it was, and it was in the, I think, 50s. It was a little bit warmer than I guess it is now. I was still freezing because I'm from South Carolina. But Nulik, you are doing some incredible stuff in the Liberty movement. You will likely be, you are in many ways, I don't know how to word that. Not that I wouldn't say you're the Teddy Roosevelt of our party. I would just say that you're our best hunter, probably, because every time I talk to you, you're planning on going out and killing gigantic wild animals to live off of for months at a time.
yeah, I'm living the dream up here. It helps get all that rage out from this government overreach and just getting
Yes.
off grid, So, yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. And thank you for being a part of this. Illinois is the Alaska of the lower 48 in many ways. I think that's actually on one of the vanity license plates, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I've actually been to Illinois. I was living in like the Midwest area in like Wisconsin. That's where I found my husband. And then I brought him up here and showed him the hunting and fishing up here. And now he's trapped and, doesn't want to go back. But yeah, I'm super glad that I could help with this. This is something that like ballot access and whatnot is not as much of a issue up here anymore because we have ranked choice voting now. And we have jungle primaries. Yes. So that's super exciting. I hope other states can have this as well. I mean, it's a really great step in opening up for third parties to be on the ballot. In fact, for the Congress election that's coming up, there's 50 people that have signed up for U.S. Congress, and only 40% of them are from Republicans and Democrats. 60% are from different parties, which is really exciting. So we just found
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we were crunching some of the numbers. We're like, wow, all these people are from different parties. So this is really exciting. But unfortunately for Illinois, we have to do stuff like this. So
But we're working on that next. Yeah, we're working on that next to get that kind of system across the country. Also, you do have Santa Claus running for Congress.
yes, and I think it's hilarious. His legal name is Santa Claus. He is a democratic socialist. I don't like his policies, which kind of surprises me that he's a democratic socialist. I didn't think Santa was with his workshop and elves and whatnot, but but yeah.
But no, this Santa Claus actually, he goes into someone's chimney, takes some of their toys, and then distributes them to the rest.
Redistributes it. Yeah,
exactly. I've watched it happen.
Yeah, he's like the evil Santa Claus. But
I will say though, I would rather have Santa Claus than Sarah Palin, who has also signed up for that race. So
that's fair. That's fair. Well, Nulik, thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for enriching us with the Alaskan perspective to us lower 48ers. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Right now, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And
it is. Our next guest literally needs absolutely no introduction
at all.
But I'm going to give him one anyway because it's written down. So he was the 2018 and current 2022 gubernatorial candidate for New York State and the host of the Sharp Way podcast. Everybody, please welcome with me the one, the only Larry Sharp.
Hey, everybody, how are you?
Hey,
what's going on, Larry?
Well,
Good. I'm glad. Are you guys hearing me well?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, we hear you
I
great.
love it. I got to tell you, I am excited for a lot of reasons. One, it's an extravaganza. I mean, how can you not be excited about that by default? I mean, that right there.
By default,
I just didn't
yeah.
do it myself, right? I'm super excited. And the best part is, with this extravaganza, I have someone with me, which is someone who, when it comes to all libertarians, named Spike, who is in my top 50. And that's Spike Cohen, right? I mean, he is in my top 50 of all of the libertarians named Spike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
He's
on
in
a
my top
rotating
50.
basis.
Yes,
A rotating, on a rotating
yeah,
basis. Yeah.
Depends on what day it is. But of all of the libertarians named Redpath, there is only one. There is only one, and it is Bill Redpath. He is the one and the only, and the best part about him, besides his super cool name, is that everything he does, seriously, helps all the rest of the movement. And while I've been joking around a lot about a lot of stuff, the most important piece is everything this man does helps the entire movement. You might be watching and saying to yourself, why do I care? This guy, Redpath, whatever, Illinois, whatever, because whatever he does helps them. As he grows, we all grow. As he achieves, we all achieve. This is why you should care. This is why you should click that button. This is why you support this man. This is why you should write a check. This is why you should have your credit card number. This is why you should do it. It helps us all.
Yep,
Larry, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I know you're taking time out from your campaign. I know you've got a petition drive that starts in New York tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's a bear. We've got it bad in Illinois. You've got it worse in New York these days. And I just wish you luck and success in getting her done in New York. I hope.
Yeah, but we got to do it everywhere. We got to get 50 state ballot access again. We got to get back to that. So we all got to hustle. We all have our own cross to bear, as the saying goes. So I'll bear mine, you bear yours. But no matter what, we got to bear these crosses. We got to make this happen. We got to push forward to get 50 states, because that's what we do, right? That's what we do. It's why we're impressive. It's why we're so important. And yeah, this is a heavy lift in New York, but it's a lift that I'm going to do. I'm just going to make the lift. I don't have, as I say, as the Marine that I am, I'm on the beach already, and the ships, they already went back. So I'm going forward. I'm not dying on this beach. I'm going forward. That's all I'm saying. We're all going forward.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. And, it's just that the Libertarian Party, I mean, really, if something is going to happen,
yes,
like I said, standing up, speaking truth to power to the R's and D's, really anymore, it's the Libertarian Party that's going to do it. It's the Libertarian Party that's got to do it. And Larry's doing it in New York. My entire slate here in Illinois. I'm running for U.S. Senate. We have 6 other people. You heard about Jesse White. In case you didn't know, our entire slate, Scott Schluter and John Phillips, are the governor, lieutenant governor ticket. We got Dan Robin, who is a relatively new party member, but he is an attorney, and he is barred in Illinois, and he stepped forward to run for attorney general. Preston Nelson, longtime candidate here. Great guy, longtime LP member, stepped up to run for treasurer. But a lot of people may not know this. Our comptroller candidate in Illinois this year is Deidre McCloskey. And she is now the Adam Smith Fellow at the Cato Institute. I actually had her when she was Don McCloskey. I actually had her in a class as a professor 43 years ago in the spring of 1979 at the University of Chicago. And now she's a running mate of mine in Illinois this year, which is an incredible coincidence, but it speaks of her dedication. She's very dedicated to the Libertarian Party, I've found, in getting to know her here in Illinois. So that's what we're doing. And may I ask, who all is running statewide in New York, Larry?
It's me, my man, Andrew Hollister, who ran with me last time. And also for our attorney general, we have Sean Hayes, who's a former Democrat. And we have Bill Schmidt, who has also been a Libertarian for many years. So we've got 4 people running there. And also Thomas Queter is running for U.S. Senate. So I've tried to create a coalition. I've got a Democrat, a former Democrat, a former Republican, a bunch of Libertarians. And I got, of course, the cool, super cool Andrew Yang Forward Party endorsement. So we got the Forward Party behind us too on top of it. Look, this movement, as you talk about, Bill, is really about now's the time. People are finally seeing something's wrong. And how do we know? Because all the other party registrations are going down while ours is going up. So we are getting more and more people in our party that are coming towards us. That's why Yang left. That's why other people leave. They're like, got to do something. And as they leave, I say, no, not something, us, right? Don't go out there, come to us. And ballot access is key. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Larry, as always, thank you so much, man. Thank you for being a part of this.
Larry. It's great.
Come on,
Great
guys.
to have you.
Redpath or USSenate.com. Donate and give 5,800. Not 57, you spinsters. 5,800. Do it now.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Good
you,
luck,
Larry.
Larry.
Thank you. We'll see you in Reno.
Bye, guys.
And after you give your 5,800, then give 22,000 to the Libertarian Party of Illinois. Don't walk out of here with any money, folks. Thank you so much. So, our final guest for the night, you've probably heard of her. Back in 1996. She was the vice presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party alongside Harry Brown. Then in 2020, she was the Libertarian Party's presidential candidate, and she is now the president of People for Liberty. Ladies and gentlemen, join all of us in welcoming our final guest for the night, Ms. Professor Jo Jorgensen. Jo, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, glad to be here.
Hey, Joe. Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Well, anybody who likes where the Libertarian Party has gone in the last 20 years, they owe you a big thank you, Bill. And if you don't mind my 1996, it was so exciting being on the ballot on all 50 states with Harry Brown, and we would not have been able to do that if it hadn't been for Bill. Lots of very late night phone calls. We didn't have, the luxury of being so much into the internet on our handheld phones back then. So I just can't thank Bill enough, because I'm sure I wouldn't have been on the ballot in all 50 states if it hadn't been for Bill. And he's just been a tireless, hard worker ever since then. And it was the fact that we were on the ballot in 50 states, all 50 states back to back, that people started paying attention to us. And so we would not be here today if it weren't for Bill's dedication.
Well, Joe, thank you very much. I mean, it's better to be lucky than good. And I've had a lot of luck when it comes to ballot access. I mean, seriously, I mean, we've come so close, to not making the ballot in all 50 states with the presidential ticket several times, and just this could go wrong or that could go wrong. And I've been lucky a lot of times in the ballot access work that I've done for the Libertarian Party. But
yes, but Bill, if you don't mind my interrupting, we know that we can create our own luck. And in fact, if you don't mind if I share, in New Orleans in 2018, when there were the nominations going on, I actually went up to Bill and I was like, please, let me be one of the nominators. And Bill was like, well, I've already got a whole bunch of people. And I was like, I'll be quick. I just want to get on stage and talk about the great work you've done.
Well, thank you. I remember that, and I really appreciated it. It was a unusual experience to have somebody come up and say they wanted to get up there and speak for me, but I really, really appreciated it. And but the main thing, I've been lucky in terms of being involved in the LP. I mean, it's been a tremendous experience, and the people I've met, the things I've done, and leading, not just meeting all the great libertarians in the LP, but meeting people, outside the LP that I got to meet because of my association and my involvement with the LP. So it seems hard to believe that interesting thing. I moved to New York. I was kind of ignorant of the LP, and I moved to New York in August 1983. And the National Convention of the Libertarian Party was across the street from where I was working. It was in the Sheraton Center Hotel, Labor Day weekend, 1983, literally directly across West 53rd Street from the office where I worked.
That might actually be luck.
that might be luck, but it's weird to think that there was a national convention of the political party happening across the street that weekend, I would eventually become national chairman and be heavily involved in that party. But I was totally ignorant that it was happening that weekend. I went up to Maine that weekend or something like that. But fortunately, I in 1984 I joined the party, and I've never looked back. I've never regretted being involved in the LP or anything I've done in the LP. And I just urge everyone to do the same thing. It's throwing yourself into the LP and getting involved is a very gratifying thing. And my life has been so much better because of it.
Well, I think all of ours, and thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Joe. And Joe, thank you for joining us as our final guest. And we greatly appreciate your time, and have a great rest of your evening.
Well, thanks to everybody as well.
Thank
And
you,
if you like where the Libertarian is and how we've gotten here, 50 states, Bill's your guy. So yes, please be generous.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Joe.
Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks,
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And this was great. We had
This
people
was
from all
fantastic.
over the movement, Matt. And again, final push. redpathforusenate.com. Donate. Like Larry said, don't just give $5,700. You spinsters. Direct quote from Larry Sharp. Be sure to give the $5,800 or whatever you can. And if you are able to give more than the $5,800, then go over into lpillinois.org as well. They can take your other $22,000 you have, but the money that you donate is going to go directly towards making sure that Bill Redpath and everyone else that's running on the Libertarian slate in Illinois will be able to be on the ballot and give Illinois voters more options. And as you've heard from multiple guests here, this is what continues to allow Bill to do his work for his campaign, and also the work that he is doing. This is a tireless warrior for the liberty movement, and has been for many decades, and will continue to be one.
Well, thank you. I will always remember this evening, the wonderful things people said. I'm very much flattered and gratified. I just thank you. I really don't deserve this, except I do deserve big donations though. But in any event, but Spike, Matt, Brian, Bootleg, and thousands behind the scenes, thank you very much for doing this for me and my campaign. Really appreciate it. Thank you forever.
It is our pleasure. It is our pleasure, Bill. There are many great libertarian candidates out there, but you are definitely one who deserves all of this. And we are all eternally grateful for all that you have done for the party, and for every candidate out there running. So thank you for everything that you have done.
You're welcome. Very welcome, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in to the Revenue for Redpath fundraiser event tonight. I'd like to thank Brian Lambrecht and Bootleg Libertarian and Cajun Libertarian and Eskimo Libertarian and Lex Green and Dan Berman and Joe Jorgensen, Larry Sharp, Jim Turney, Dr. Mary Ruiz, Laura Ebke, Richard Wenger, everyone that was involved, Richard Winger's phone camera, everyone that was involved in this incredible event. Matt, as always, thank you. And I will see you tonight or tomorrow night, actually, and on our show, The Muddy Waters of Freedom. And folks, thanks again for tuning in. redpathforusenate.com/donate. redpathforusenate.com if you'd like to get involved in other ways, volunteer for the campaign, help to promote it. And thank you again. Have a great rest of your evening, and let's keep fighting for liberty, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for your support and your donations, everyone. Thank you.